Good morning. Happy New Year's, friends. I'm so excited we're starting off 2017 meditating together. Thanks for joining the challenge. Thanks for checking out the video reflection here. I'm assuming you got the email, which is why you clicked on this. But just so you know, you can either read the emails or listen to these video reflections. I have a feeling, knowing me, the video reflection will probably be a little bit more rambling every day. Hopefully the email will be a little bit more concise. But whatever's the best way for you to be interacting with this challenge, we want to present both the video and the email. We've got a lot to cover, and I'll try to keep it short today. But the way I'd like to start these daily reflections is just taking 3 minutes to meditate together. And if you don't want to set aside the time yourself, or finding a little difficult to do that, we'll do it right now. And you can check the box of having done your meditation for the day. So I'm just going to go ahead and ring the bell. We'll meditate for 3 minutes silently. If you don't know how to meditate, don't worry. We're going to cover that in tonight's beginner session. And if this is your first time meditating, my recommendation is just try to be still, relax, check in with your body, see if there's any tension. Just kind of like let that go. Take a few deep breaths and just see what happens while you sit here. You know, just discover what happens in your mind. And we'll talk about that at great length this week. But for now, just see what it's like to be quiet for a few minutes. I'll go ahead and ring the bell to get us started, and I'll ring it twice to finish our meditation. Then we'll talk about today's topic, the power of tiny habits. Thanks for meditating with me. It was great. Nice way to start off our little conversation here. I have 4 logistical items I want to touch on really quickly before we talk about today's lesson for the challenge. One, we've got a beginner session tonight. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. It'll be live on a YouTube stream just like this. Great opportunity to come. There's a chat function. You can ask any questions. Some of our meditation instructors, other instructors from the challenge, from the community will be there. I'll also be able to see your questions, so we'll be able to interact a little bit in that context. That will also be recorded, so if you can't come live, you'll be able to check back to that. It's a little on the long side. I pack everything that you need to know about beginning a meditation practice into about 75 minutes or so. I'll also include in the email I send out later tonight a shorter version, like a little 7-minute introduction if you don't have like a whole hour to invest in learning how to meditate. Also some links to some blog posts that we've written. Second, we've got every single night this week, we've scheduled some beginners meditation instructions. These sessions won't be recorded. We use a conferencing service called Zoom. You can either dial in by phone and treat it like a regular conference call, or you can use webcam and come and get to see us and talk face to face. And these are small group opportunities. Usually between 5 and 10 people show up. And I'll be on all the calls, but they'll be run by different meditation instructors from our community. So every night will be a little bit different, but every night is going to be focused on beginners meditation. If you're an experienced meditator, great place to come, share what your experience has been with people who are new. Great opportunity to kind of brush up on some of the one-on-ones, get a little motivated for starting this year off. But the reason it's not recorded is because it's really meant to be kind of like a private sort of small group conversation. So it's a great opportunity to get all your questions answered, get to interact with us, get to start to see what it's like to feel like part of this community that we've got here. So those will be at roughly 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time through the course of the entire week. There'll be a little link and explanation about how to get to those sessions in the daily emails. Third, I'm going to keep all of the days of this challenge in a running blog post. So there will be a link that if you fall behind, you miss a day, or you want to come back and reference something, there'll sort of be one centralized place. So I'll put that in the comments below in this video. It'll also be, you'll be able to find it in the daily email. So you can check that out if you miss a day, or if you're starting late and you're catching up. We get a few people usually join us a day or 2 or 3 late for this challenge. So there'll be an opportunity to catch up. Fourth and last logistical point before today's reflection, I'm here to help. It's just me on the other side of the email. A whole bunch of you sent me a little answer to my day 0 question about what brought you here. Why are you doing this meditation practice? And I'm just going to say, there's some really common themes, and I see this in all of our challenges. We've got beginners who want to learn how to meditate. We've got experienced people who have fallen off the wagon, are trying to get their daily practice reestablished. We get people who are stressed out, have got a lot going on in their life. They're dealing with grief or loss, or change in their job, transition, divorce, all of the things that kind of create distress in our life. I just want to say quickly about those. If you're a beginner, we're going to give you everything you need to get started. And we're going to talk a lot about this, but it's really a very simple practice. We're learning how to be still. We're getting connected with our breath, and we're going to see a little bit how our mind works, and we're going to find some freedom from that kind of crazy, anxious, overthinking brain of ours, and see how we can change our relationship to our thoughts. If you're an experienced meditator and you already know about this, we're going to talk a lot about habit formation. I've been meditating since 2007. And I love it. It's changed my life. I sit here and I advocate for meditation all the time, and I still struggle at times. I'll go weeks where I'm meditating every day, and then I'll go weeks where I'm struggling to find the cushion once or twice a week. And it's a really common problem. It's why we have a community. It's why we keep coming together, and we hold challenges every month, and we have regular meditation groups because we need help to kind of support and sustain our practice. So we're going to talk a lot about that throughout the course of it. And third, I'm going to say that for those of you who are here because some level of distress, whether it's minor from feeling a little stressed out at work to really big stuff, loss and grief and life transition issues, this practice has a great opportunity to help you. I do want to suggest, though, that the solutions may not look like what we're looking for. This practice isn't an escape, right? This is really about living our life fully and completely and authentically. I think there's an important caveat that I just want to mention. A couple of people have expressed they're here because of addiction issues, PTSD, anxiety, and depression. I really do believe, because of my personal experience with anxiety and depression, that this is a practice that can benefit you. But I feel very strongly that that happens best in the context of a therapeutic relationship with a licensed mental health professional. The stuff that we are working with in our meditation is the stuff of our minds, right? It's our emotions, it's our thoughts, it's our feelings, it's stuff from the past, it's anxieties about the future. We're confronted with a lot during a meditation practice. I think for those of us who are going through a rough time, especially if you're experiencing something clinical, like a diagnosable anxiety or depression or PTSD or other issues, it's really best to explore meditation practice in conjunction with a therapist. My therapist is a very central part of my life after all these years of meditating. My anxiety is nearly non-existent because of my meditation practice now, but my depression is still a issue that I take antidepressants for, and I seek a lot of help. When we have really serious issues, there's no one fix. We need to pull all the levers. We need supportive friends and family. We need therapists and doctors. Sometimes we need medication. We need healthy eating. We need good night's sleep. We need exercise, right? And we need a meditation practice. So there's no sort of one magic fix here. This last bit, like I'm a resource, and we've got 22 meditation instructors, all volunteers. We're all resources here. So if you don't want to join one of the group sessions and talk in a small group, or if that doesn't match your schedule, we've got plenty of opportunities to work on one-on-one. We don't charge for any of our services here. This is purely volunteer work, and we do it because we love meditation. It's changed our lives, and we want to pay that forward. So there's a lot of good people here who'd be willing to talk with you and work with you. You can always reply to the emails. It's just me on the other side. I get it right on my phone, and I look forward to chatting with you. So enough about the logistics. A little bit about today's topic. There's a link in the email. It'll be in the blog. I'll include it in the comment section below this. To a wonderful TED Talk by a guy named Professor B.J. Fogg. And Dr. Fogg is, he's a professor at Stanford University, runs a Center for Persuasive Technology. And he has this wonderful talk about tiny habits. I think it's a really important, it's really a foundational element of how we teach meditation, how we approach it here at the New Leaf Meditation Project. In 2013-14, when I was working on my master's research, I have a master's in education, I focused on habit formation specifically for new meditators. And one of the things that I was really impressed by is all of the research that talks about when we first come to something like a meditation practice, our motivation is very high, right? There's something that's driving us to be here. You don't like the way that you get angry when you're in the car on the way to work, or you're struggling with some behaviors that you'd like to change, or there's something driving here. It can be, small to we don't like the way we're interacting with our coworkers, and we feel like we're not listening effectively, that we're a little too impulsive, or big stuff. We're working through grief. We've lost family members or loved ones, right? When our motivation is high, it's very easy to do big things. We go on meditation retreats. We meditate for 10 days in a silent Vipassana retreat somewhere, or we commit ourselves to meditating for half an hour twice a day, every day for the year, right? And that impulse is very genuine, right? Because we're in a lot of pain and we're looking for a solution. The problem is motivation always wanes, right? The crisis subsides. You start to, care a little bit less if you're cursing in the car on your way to work. The loss of a loved one, that grief slowly over time gets processed and it weighs on us a little bit less every day, and we make our peace within, we find acceptance, right? As the motivation wanes, our ability to stay committed to these very large and ambitious goals also wanes. So if we're really looking for the true benefits of meditation, we want a daily meditation practice. And I can guarantee you from my own personal experience, in my first year or two of meditating, I was doing some large chunks of meditation. I started going on some retreats, and it was wonderful. It's life-changing. Don't get me wrong. You go on a 3-day weekend retreat for the first time, and you'll learn a lot about yourself. It'll be possibly challenging, but likely also a very rewarding experience. But the benefits of that disappear after a few days. By Wednesday comes around, your work week is back to normal. You kind of lost all the benefits of that wonderful retreat. A daily meditation practice gives us the opportunity to start relating to our mind and to our life a little bit differently, right? So I can guarantee you from my personal experience and from having worked with literally thousands of students over the last couple of years through the New Leaf Meditation Project, that if you can meditate even just 3 minutes a day, every day for a month, your life will change beyond your wildest dreams, right? Because the work we're doing is not about what happens when we're on the meditation cushion or sitting in our chair. It's really about how our day-to-day life goes. So I want you to take this lesson. The reason we're starting with this concept of tiny habits is that I think it may be the most important thing that you take out of this 30-day challenge, right? We start small, we focus on consistency, and we stick with that, right? So don't knock yourself if you're too busy to find 20 minutes to meditate. If you can, that's great. More power to you. But if you're new to the practice, or if you're struggling with making this daily habit, I really encourage you to consider setting a goal of 3 or 5 minutes, 5 minutes absolute max for the course of this month. There's some great research coming out of Duke University that tells us that it takes on average 66 days to install a new daily habit, right? That means you got to get to the cushion successfully for over 2 months before you can really rely on this habit. Why do we care so much about habits? Because they're so darn powerful, right? What we do every day really shapes our life. It becomes who we are, right? We're not in those one-off sort of great acts. We're, what we make of our daily life here. So I'm going to include the link to the TED Talk. If you got a little bit of time, it's really worth listening to. BJ Fogg, just wonderful. Tiny Habits. I think it's about 20 minutes. I'm actually going to rewatch it. I haven't watched it in a while. Really a great video. We're going to talk a lot about habit formation this week. So just a little recap. We're going to meditate tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, beginner's instruction. It's long, 75 minutes. If you don't have time to join us for all that, don't worry. I'll include a recorded version of that session. I'll also include a shorter, like a little 7-minute session about how to meditate, some blog posts. We'll make this pretty easy to get your hands around. We've got meditation instruction all week, every night, roughly around 9 p.m. It'll vary a little bit through the course of the week, but just check the daily emails. There's going to be a blog post that kind of keeps track of all this, so if you fall behind a little bit, you can catch up. And lastly, I'm here to help. Send me an email, drop a comment below, text me, any way. I'm in Facebook. There's the Facebook discussion groups, another great way to connect with me and many of our other meditation instructors. So I'm really looking forward to this. Thanks so much for joining our challenge. Thanks for starting off 2017 sort of looking to be happy, healthy, and centered. I think you're going to get a lot out of this challenge. I'm glad you're joining us. Thank you. Happy New Year.